Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to be comparing teepublic.com to redbubble.com. For those who don't know, teepublic is a platform very similar to Redbubble in terms of what it could do, right? You could put designs on t-shirts, on masks, on stickers, on phone cases, and the list goes on and on and on. To the outside eye, somebody might believe that TeePublic is extremely similar to Redbubble. The truth is that these platforms are very different in time, and I'll explain what I mean when I say in time. Let's go over here and head over to similarweb.com and see some analytics on both platforms. So here we have redbubble.com, and we can see here that there is a global rank, meaning if we were to rank all the websites all over the world, Redbubble fits in place number 1,227, and it's recently moved up 130 spots, probably because of the holidays, right? And we have a category rank of position number 9. So that means of all websites on Earth, in the category of arts and entertainment, Redbubble is number 9. That's why when people say, Redbubble's dead, or I don't make any money on Redbubble, or, and they're complaining about Redbubble, I say, look at the traffic. In October, Redbubble generated 31.8 million website visitors. 31.8 million. In August, 30.6 million. In September, 29.6 million. So the numbers are ridiculous. The numbers are insane. Insanity, if you will. Very, very high numbers for a website. And it makes sense why websites like this generate almost $1 billion a year. It makes complete sense because they're generating 31 million visitors to 30 million visitors to a website. Okay? Let's go ahead and compare Redbubble to TeePublic. Now, TeePublic is a platform that is globally ranked at 4,753. So a little bit different here. If we look at the global rank for Redbubble, it's about, let's say, 3 times more than 3 times. It's like maybe 3.2 times more ranked. Now, for those who don't know, what you want if you own a website for the ranking, you want it to be smaller, not bigger. Okay? The smaller the ranking is, that means the higher it up it is in the Google search, and that means the more traffic it gets. And just to prove that, TeePublic, since it has a larger number, it's going to have less traffic. You could see here 11.1 million in October. Meanwhile, Redbubble had 31.8 million. So in terms of traffic and visitors to the website, TeePublic is about 1/3, maybe even a little less than Redbubble, right? And not just based on October, but you can look at the other months as well. So 8.9, 9.8, etc. Now, something I want to say is when you see parallels between similar websites like this, where you see a dip in traffic a certain month and then a boost up, that means the overall demand or search volume of something, of maybe that whole entire category dipped. Okay, it's not necessarily that both websites, did something wrong or something like that. It's just the whole industry, as a whole. Less search demand, less trend, right? Now, category number 9 for arts and entertainment here, category number 76 for fashion and apparel. Now, obviously, they're not the same category, but it would be something interesting to see if they were in the same category. Now, off of search volume, we know that TeePublic is significantly smaller, but still very big. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Google Trends and see where both companies are essentially headed. Now, we can see here, TeePublic, first of all, I made a video back in the day, maybe about 6 months ago, about TeePublic. And I very specifically said, for those who want to get in early on Redbubble, for those who wanted to get in early on Redbubble, it would be wise to join TeePublic. Because obviously we can't reverse time. We can't hop into a hyperbolic time chamber and change how time goes. We can't go back in time to Redbubble's, before it trended upward. But what we could do is catch a trend before it, catches fire. Now, I've spoken about this before, but We tend to see this with larger print-on-demand websites where this tends to happen. For a very, very long time, right, it's very low in traffic. Okay, and when we have these numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc., this represents the search demand or the search volume in a out of 100. Anywhere from 0 to 100, it represents the search volume to where it currently is at its highest peak and today. Okay, so if it's, for example, 4, and today it's at, let's say, 49, right? That's 49 representing at its highest, which was at this point was 100. Okay, so just to keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and keep talking about this. So you can see here, Teepublic, it's very low, but it's increasing. It's increasing slowly, right? And if we take Teepublic and compare it to Redbubble, right, we can see that it's just a fraction, maybe even a tenth, roughly a tenth of what Redbubble is doing. What I believe is in the next 2 years, roughly, Teepublic will start to enter this phase right here, where it's starting to gain a peak, and a large peak, like a significant peak. Once it reaches here, it's going to be off to the moon. It's going to keep going forward, keep going forward, keep going forward. And the reason why is because of momentum. Now, what typically tends to create growth like this isn't just paid advertising. A lot of people have to remember this. It's usually the organic traffic. And not just organic traffic for the actual platform, like the actual keyword, like Teepublic, but when you create certain designs. So, for example, let's just go ahead and pick a random design here, like plastic people. Okay, let's click on this. If people search for a design like this on Google, like they search the word plastic people, okay, and they keep finding Teepublic, this is going to create a branding effect in people's minds. I mean, it's just point blank period. And this is exactly why Amazon became successful, because there were a lot of sellers on the platform that started to increase over time. Same thing happened to eBay, where there became more and more and more and more sellers over time on the platform. Google picked up those specific links or those listings of products and started ranking that website for it. So whenever you make a contribution to a platform like Teepublic or like Redbubble, and you make that specific contribution, what you're doing is you're helping them rank on Google. You're helping them, give them more power in Google's algorithm. Now, not all the times do they rank, and not all the times do they do well. But for those that do well, you are helping them, all right? This is why I say having your own website is relatively important when it comes down to creating designs so that you can rank for yourself. But nonetheless, what's happening is over time, more and more and more designers will create more designs on Teepublic, and they have to title their products. They have to add tags. They have to do the whole, they're going to rank essentially on Google for certain products. And if not all of them, at least some of them will. And what happens is that the more designs people create, the more the platform catches momentum. The more the platform catches momentum, right? And it gets to a certain point where now it becomes a household brand, just like Redbubble. There are people who maybe have never created a design on Redbubble, but come to Redbubble every month, every week to purchase something, right? They're habitual buyers. They're seasonal buyers. They want to buy something. And they know about Redbubble as a place where they can buy art, not necessarily a place where they can create art, right? You got to remember that the creators, the art creators behind Redbubble are only about 800,000 people. But yet the website gets 30-something million visitors. So, I mean, there's a huge ratio there. You're looking at maybe a 29-to-1 ratio of the amount of visitors compared to the amount of artists on Redbubble. So, with Teepublic right now, maybe majority of the people are designers. But over time, as more designs are created on the platform will get more power in the algorithm. Will get more traffic. And not just for, like I said, related keywords, like or exact match term keywords like Teepublic coupon, but keywords for products that, maybe not even relating to the platform. Like, for example, this plastic people design. And the more that people create designs like this, like I said, it's giving more power to the platform. But if you look here, you could see Teepublic very, very low, and then it started to gain some traction. But real quickly, we could see that same effect here. Let me go ahead and try to zoom in if I can on this. We can see the same effect that Redbubble had somewhere around here, right? And if you look at the date from September 09 all the way to about December, let's just say September, let's say September 11, right? From here to here was a 2-year period of time, roughly 2 years. So my argument is that since it's gained a little more traction here, it's going to be about 2 more years before we hit a period like this on TeePublic. And so essentially what that really means is you have 2 years before the platform shoots up in traffic. And what happens is when there is more demand than there is supply, because that's really what this is here. From here to here, there is more demand than there is supply. It becomes easier for you to sell products because it's like easy ratios right there. Imagine, I'll give you an example. Imagine if there's a classroom, okay, of, let's say, college students. They're all single and they all want to date, right? And let's say that there are 20 women or 20 females, right? And there are 10 males, right? What that really means is for the men, that means there is more supply than there is demand, right? Because let's say each guy wants to get a girlfriend. Well, if each guy gets a girlfriend, maybe he gets one girlfriend, right? Well, then that leaves 10 females out, right? But for the females, that means that there is less supply than there is demand, because the demand is 20, but there's not enough supply. There's only 10 men, but there's 20 women, right? So just to keep in mind this supply and demand kind of area is that right now in TeePublic, there's more demand, there is more supply than there is demand. And that's because the platform is small. On any relatively new, and TeePublic is not relatively new. TeePublic has been around for a while, but businesses grow at different speeds, right? Any kind of new business, like let's say I create a website tomorrow, and I create 10 different listings on my website. At that point, the supply is much greater than the demand, because nobody's visiting my website yet. But as soon as I start to catch momentum, as soon as I start to get my first 100 visitors, 1,000 visitors, 5,000 visitors, 50,000 visitors, that's when my demand becomes much, much higher than my supply. I could start uploading designs that might not necessarily be the best and still get sales, right? So that's what we call the golden era for a certain website, is when the supply, when the demand completely outweighs the supply, right? And everybody seems to be making money. It's almost like a gold mine. Now, is that the case for Redbubble currently? The answer is no, not currently. But you can still easily make money on Redbubble. I mean, I've shown how to do it. All right. So just for the future, guys, so everybody wants to know is that if you join a platform like this, you never know. In 2 years, it might pop off, it might succeed, and it might push forward and might get a lot more traffic. And you might be doing very, very well. Some people look at it like, nope, it's never going to do that well. It's never going to succeed. I'm good. And honestly, it really doesn't matter. It just depends on what you want to decide to do. So leave it in the comments below if you're going to start uploading on TeePublic, or maybe you already have. All right? I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.